Hi everyone, Answet Marks here from VDM Attorneys, and with me is my co-director Jolene Wasserman. Jolene, thank you for your time today. I know you're a very busy lady. For the viewers and the listeners out there, we're getting a lot of questions on illegal extensions. Can you give us a few examples for those who may not know what are illegal extensions?
Yes, this is quite a big thing, especially in body corporates in South Africa. I've bought the unit, for example, 20 years ago. I would like another room. I have 2 garages. I converted the 1 garage into my study or my bedroom. Now, and 20 years passed down the line now, and a new board of trustees come on board and they say, but this is an illegal conversion. And I said, no, but I bought the unit like that. It's perfectly fine. Just give me permission, trustees. And the trustees said, and this was actually a High Court matter down the Western Cape a couple of years ago. And the trustees, oh, let's have a special resolution. 75% of members approve your conversion, Jolene, and you're good to go. Answet, now next door, living next door to me, she knows the law, of course. And she says, no, this is not a special resolution. This is a unanimous resolution. You need the consent of all owners to convert your garage into a living space, and of course you'll need the local authorities approval as well.
Yes.
So lo and behold, they took the matter to the CSOS, the body corporate, and they said, but we have a special resolution, and the CSOS granted and says the special resolution is perfectly fine. So Answet thought this couldn't be right, and she appealed the adjudication order, went to the High Court, and the High Court overturned that CSOS matter and says, Answet, you were quite correct. This is a consent by all owners in terms of section 13(1)(g) of the Sectional Title Schemes Management Act. So it's not just about converting that garage, because you'll need the local municipalities, you'll need consent from all owners, and it is deemed illegal if you do not have consent. The other thing that we can mention is when we built on a portion of common property in a body corporate, if we enclose an area that's deemed as open with windows and with bricks and mortar, and we enclose that, that's also deemed as an illegal extension. It's all about the consent at the end of the day that you need.
So if I've now built something on that I'm not supposed to, that's a demolishing order that we're waiting for, or what have, so that's some of the recourses that I've worked with. What are some of the recourses you work with? Is it only demolishment, or what are the other reliefs that we can seek?
You see, there is another option, of course, but we've also done a few case summaries on demolishing orders.
Yes.
I mean, this is a High Court order, naturally, and you will advise us of the costs later on. You know, but if there is, and the courts wouldn't nilly-willy say you have to demolish this because it's already built now.
But exactly, it's been I've seen it in the cases we've done.
Yeah.
It's extremely hard to actually prove that, whether or not it's against the rules or not, or even against the council authority. It's extremely hard to actually also, you know, to prove that. Yeah, you'll have your merits and we'll get you your court order, but at the end of the day, to actually follow it through in court can be quite, you know, how can I say, an extensive exercise.
No,
when it
definitely.
comes to merits,
No, definitely. The courts have granted it, but the courts has also dismissed it.
Yes.
And says, you know what, body corporate, just go have another meeting, see if you can pull through the consent, get the local authorities' consent. So it really needs to be each case based on its own merit. So if you are wondering if there is illegal extensions in your community scheme, give us a call at VDM Attorneys, and we'll assess the matter and we'll advise the most cost-effective matter to proceed.
Sorry, we were speaking about other reliefs other than demolishment?
Yes, in terms of the CSOS Act, in terms of section 39(2) of the CSOS Act, it's actually under behavioral issues, strangely enough. But section 39(2) says that you can apply for a CSOS order to deem a building illegally built or an extension illegally. But what we've seen now with the CSOS orders, or actually I've seen 2 now already, the CSOS says they do not have jurisdiction over demolishing, but the member didn't ask for demolishing. The member asked in terms of section 39(2) to deem the extension illegal, you know. So that's also something, you know, that you can discuss with us. The CSOS obviously doesn't have the power to grant demolishing, but that's not what the provision of that act says.
No.
You know, so quite interesting how those orders came about.
From a cost perspective, I generally quote people on the demolishment order. Unopposed, you can look at anything minimum 40,000 Rand the moment it becomes opposed, because obviously we're then sitting with answering affidavits, we're sitting with applying affidavits, we then go the whole 9 yards, and the moment it's an opposed application, we're then sitting with a more costly exercise. So just take that into consideration, that whether or not opposed or unopposed can have a massive influence on the cost itself of the matter. Jolene, thank you for your time, thank you for viewing, and please keep following our social media pages for more information and more golden nuggets to see how you can protect your property in your sectional title.